This is Colonel Julie Jumpsticks. There's a plot to steal what? What? The Mona Lisa! Again! I'll have my agent on this case now. I'll call 008. She's the best. She'll be on this case straight away. Leave it with me. Oh, they want to steal me again. Oh, I need a stretch. I've been sitting here for 500 years.
Who are you?
I'm the Mona Lisa. It's nice to talk to someone.
Oh, Lisa the Gioconda.
Yes.
Tell me, who painted you?
Leonardo da Vinci, one of the most magnificent painters. And he was so talented.
You don't have to stay and pose anymore. Relax. You're just with me.
Thank you.
I'm so sorry. Listen,
Yes.
could we talk about your creator?
Oh, yes, he's wonderful. He was born in 1452, and his parents weren't married, but his father wanted a son. He lived with his mother for 5 years, and then went to live with his father. But his father was so busy with his duties, and he went to live with his uncle, Francesco.
Where did they live?
They lived in the countryside, but he never had a nickname or surname, so he was called Leonardo from Vinci.
Oh, that's why it's Leonardo
Yes.
Vinci. I love it. And tell me, was he a curious sort?
Oh, he was the curious. And the main thing about Leonardo was that he observed things
Right.
and was very interested.
I hear he kept many sketchbooks.
Oh,
Is that
he
really
did.
true?
Yes, he did. And he kept 6,000 journals with a desire to be famous and jokes and all his sketches.
And is it true that he had like shopping lists in his
Yes,
journals?
he did.
Oh, it must have been such a joy for you.
It
How many
was.
years did you have to sit for him?
Well, I had to sit for 4 years.
Wow, that's
Yes.
a long while.
And he got entertainment for me. He got clowns and people.
Oh, that's why you've got a slight
Yes.
smile in your face.
Yes.
Because you must have been bored otherwise.
But it's a smirk, actually.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Now, I really want to know. So, he grew up with Francesco. And then
Yes.
what happened? At 14, where did
At
he go?
14, he went to Florence to be with a famous artist, Andrea.
Oh, Andrea Verrocchio.
Yes.
He must have loved Florence.
Yes, he did. But he didn't do his sketches. Only when nobody was looking he did them. He would do pigments. And in those days, they didn't have ready-made paint. So they would get stones and they would mash up the pigments and add them with water.
An egg.
Yes. And he liked looking at the pigments for a while. He liked seeing the beautiful colours. But after a while, he got bored.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
And so, is it true that one day he
Yes,
sketched...
he did a sketch of an angel. Andrea was amazed. He said, "Well done, this is great." And when he painted it, Andrea helped him. They worked together. But he had to do the very, very delicate brushstrokes, even the ones which were invisible. And after a while, he got bored of it. But he said, keep going.
Right. And is it true that his father said to him,
Yes.
finish?
Finish your work.
Because he was a bit
Yes.
scatty like that, wasn't he?
He was. And when he finished the painting, Andrea was still amazed.
And did he stop painting?
He stopped
it was
painting
so
because he
good?
thought, he is better than me. And he stopped for his whole
Can you
life.
imagine an 18-year-old boy being better
Yeah.
than a great painter?
Yes.
That's so fascinating. So then, did he start up with his own business?
Yes. And Andrea said, always finish your work. It
good
was
advice.
his father's words. But he never did, really.
Because he had so many interests.
Yes, so he went to his studio
Yeah.
and he got orders from the wealthy.
Okay.
And sometimes he finished them, sometimes he finished them, sometimes he didn't.
Right.
But if he didn't finish them, the wealthy didn't mind.
Because he was so charming.
Yes, and in one picture, some people believe that it's a little in the right-hand corner. It's a picture of Leonardo.
Oh, really? A
Yes.
self-portrait? And tell me, he wasn't just a painter, was he?
No, he was a scientist, an inventor. Oh, he made the most amazing inventions.
Really?
But
Can
no-
you tell me a few?
Yes, he invented scuba diving, parachutes. But the thing he wanted to make so much was flying machines.
He wanted
In
to learn to
Florence,
fly.
he got birds, he put them in a cage, and he would just let them fly.
Just to see what they were doing?
Yes, and if he saw an eagle soaring, he would think to himself,
Oh.
I wish I could be, how can I do it? But in his life, he never made a flying machine. He didn't have the very light materials. He didn't have any of the materials.
So you needed to do that.
Yes.
This is amazing. I heard that he's also was a bit of an engineer and,
Yeah.
is it true, a botanist and an architect?
Yes.
And what about the body? He did study the body
He
a lot.
studied the body, and he dug up people,
Mm.
and he saw a 100-year-old and a 1-year-old. And when he did the painting of me, he studied the mouth.
Oh, really? Is that
Yes,
why
he
it's so
studied
perfect,
it
your
so
painting?
much. He studied the muscles.
This is fascinating.
It is.
So he was one of the biggest geniuses of the world.
He was.
His brain must have been so...
It was filled with ideas.
ideas and
But if he
curiosity.
had an idea, he would say, "Well, I have a Scooby Dyer," but nobody would ever listen to him. They would say, "Nope."
He was ahead of his time, wasn't he?
He was.
He even
The
made
people-
cannons and...
He did,
And,
and metal ships.
yes. And
But nobody ever thought that it would work.
tell me, when, I believe in 1495, he painted the Last Supper.
Yes, it is an amazing picture.
Where is it?
It's in Italy.
In Milan?
Yes,
It's in a convent.
it is, and it's a sight to see.
Is it really?
Yes, it's
Much
of
bigger
Jesus.
than people think.
Yes, it's massive and beautiful.
And it depicts Jesus, that he announces that one of
Yes.
the disciples is going to
Yes,
betray him.
and that it is his last supper.
Wow, that sounds great. And tell me, your painting,
Yes, I think mine is the best.
he did too,
Yes, and he kept it for himself.
until he went to France.
Yes,
And then
and
you-
I've been in palaces with rich kings.
Really? Who
Yes.
else has had you?
Napoleon. Yes.
And then you ended up now here in the Louvre.
Yes, but somebody wanted to steal me though.
They did, didn't they?
Yes.
And they took you back to Italy.
Yes.
But it was nice to be...
It was nice to be somewhere else instead of just in one place.
Yes, you saw
Seeing
your,
the
your,
same
your fellow
things.
Italians.
Yes.
And quickly, do you think that Leonardo felt happy that he'd
Well,
created all the things he wanted, or did he think he
in
could do
his
better?
life,
Mhm.
he thought he never achieved anything. He thought God was angry with him.
Really?
Yes.
He didn't realise what...
But now he's the most amazing painter ever.
And scientist,
Yes.
and botanist, and he also
He's
was
one
a
of those
musician.
people say he's the best painter that ever existed.
He was, indeed.
He is.
I know you have to get back,
Yes.
because the Louvre is opening soon.
Yes,
Thank
and I
you
must be in my position.
You must indeed. Thank you so much, Lisa.
My pleasure.
Goodbye.